I guess we can, well, I can announce that this is Studio Photography Insights, Google Plus Hangout with me, Alex Koloskov, the Nitsche, and a lot of many guys with us.
There he is.
Today. Oh, here you are.
Yeah, it took me a while. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you got new computer now.
Yeah. Yeah, this thing rocks. The best thing about this thing is the mouse. It's one of those intelligent mouses that you can swipe and move. It's brilliant. It really is.
They've got iMac.
Yeah, I got 27-inch iMac with one of these Wonder Mouse things, whatever the heck they are, and you can scroll just by touching them, and you can change pages just by swiping them. I mean, it's brilliant. It really is.
Yeah, that's great. So you like that mouse, okay? Because I may.
Were you on a PC before, Nate? Dave, were you on a PC before?
No, I've been a Mac guy for, I don't know, 8 or 9 years now. Before that, I was all PC.
Okay.
But boy, let me tell you, Macs, I don't know why everybody seems to think Macs are so hard to work with, but they're the easiest things in the world, and they just rock. I mean, they're expensive as all hell, but for what we do, it's just, and you know, I travel a lot, and I have a Mac Air. 13-inch that I travel with. I go to a hotel, and it tells me, okay, there's this, there's this Wi-Fi network. Do you want to hook on? Yes, and that's the end of it. Wow. It's not web protocols and all the other crap that come along with PCs. It's just it finds it and it takes you there.
So it's like using your iPhone almost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll see. I was a PC guy for forever, but yesterday I ordered a MacBook Pro.
Oh, you did?
Really?
Yeah, in I don't know, few weeks and a month when I got some experience, I will do some review.
Yeah.
I've never been on Mac before, never. But I want to try it. I just want to try because life is short and I may die without trying Mac.
Well, you know what's really great? This 27-inch, I think the resolution is 2640 by 1680. I mean,
that's crazy.
It's insanity. And vignettes look beautiful in this thing, as opposed to the broken up crap that you might even see at a regular HD resolution monitor. So what I'm pretty confident what I'm seeing on my screen is what I'm going to see on a print. And I've never felt that way before. So this thing rocks, man. It really does.
March 7th. March 7th, you'll have the iPad with probably twice its current resolution.
Yeah,
which means 4 times as many pixels.
And let me tell you, I've got a Pegasus R4 RAID hooked onto this thing through Thunderbolt, which is quicker than the internal hard drive that I have going on this thing. I backed up. I was getting about, I think it's about a gig every maybe 8 minutes. I mean, it was just, well, no.
That's got to be that slow, actually.
Yeah, actually, I think I was getting about a terabyte every 45 minutes. It was just some insane.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that I just sat back and said, "What are you kidding me?"
Okay, guys, Dave, we need to start again.
Go ahead. Sorry. I'm sorry,
man. I know you're really excited, and it's great stuff, but Dave, I think we will start from review because it's so many. I was surprised how many submissions we got, right? I want to remind everybody who not in the loop that we got this weekly assignment, bottle of red wine, and it's amazing. Many people submitted their work, and today we're going to review them, show what we did, and talk about all the techniques and whatever we use. So let's start from reviewing, right, Dave? And our work will be the last, right? I'm going to share my screen. We're going to look at the photo and, I guess, just express our opinions, or I don't know. Okay.
Start with mine, huh?
Yeah, on the bottom, I said that, well, it's like you wasn't first, but if I scroll up, well, anyway, we'll start from you now.
Yeah, for some reason mine ended at the bottom, and I posted it after. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
It's my blog. It's something with my blog. Okay, so we got this photo, and you said you use just a mag light, right?
Just a mag light, and I use my iPhone for the background of it.
iPhone and mag light.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's probably.
It's a halogen. I think it's halogen, right?
Yeah, mag light is halogen. Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
But I mean, the least. It's like the image with no studio or any kind of light in which a photographer used to use, right? Well, mag light is kind of the light. So it looks cool for me. I will be always concentrating on probably technical part of this, because I don't know, for some reason it always jump on my head first.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing which I would fix if I would shoot it, those two reflections on the bottleneck.
Right.
In given composition and everything. And the rest, I don't know, looks cool.
Oh, thanks.
Well, yeah, it's like I said.
Yeah, the only thing I might suggest is always watch for pinch points. You know, the bottom of it, how what I'm seeing right here is everything's sort of laying on the bottom border.
Right.
It adds a little bit too much tension to the image. There always needs to be some breathing room in a frame.
Oh, there is space. I don't know if it's showing on Alex's.
Yeah. Here, let me quickly try to get up my Google.
Yeah, let me pull up my thing here.
I can't get it to show up. I can't get it to show up.
Yeah, it might take me a second here.
Here, give me a second. I'm gonna open it as well. I can.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Alex's.
Dave, you gonna share it or?
Oh, like I'd even know how to do that.
Here, I figured it out. Here we go. Check out that, Dave.
Oh, okay. There you go. Okay, cool. Yeah.
I see.
And the only thing, you know, where Alex will look at the technical aspect, I know everybody looks at my pictures and think I'm this technical geek, but I'm really not. I just happen to be sort of, you know, ACD about a lot of stuff, but what really strikes me about an image is emotion. What I'm sort of feeling when I see it, you know, when I think about an alcohol shot, I think about like, I don't know, maybe a lot of guys. I think about sex, and I think that's what attracts a lot of people to an image. So when I look at a picture like this, I think, okay, what sort of emotion am I sort of feeling in it? And I'm feeling it's a good picture. It's technically great, but am I really feeling an emotion from it? Which I think a lot of clients will look at and want to feel also. Now, what if that glass was maybe leaning against the bottle? You know, sort of a connection between the two. At an angle that will give you a diagonal in the frame also to sort of break up the purely horizontal feel of it. I think that might have worked. But considering the light sources that you were using for this, it's brilliant. I don't know if I could have come up with that just with a light. And then, what did you say? What were you using in the background, Noah?
Well, I used I used my iPod or my iPhone, and just, you know, when they use one of the flashlight apps to turn the LED on, and I was using 30-second exposures, so I had that sitting behind my table below where you can see, aiming up at my black seamless.
That's a great background, man. I mean, it works so well in that frame. It's just. That's really great. The only critique I can give on this is, yeah, what Alex said about removing those highlights in the neck. Absolutely, I did it on mine, as I'll point out later. But also try to get some feeling into it. You know, try to dig into what people will grab onto.
Right. So so both of you guys are actually suggesting totally removing both of these, all of the highlights there.
Yeah.
Or what?
For me,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you will add them somewhere else, like rim light, you know. But yeah.
Right.
There
Okay.
I don't know.
Like along the side, maybe here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
just like if you had a little a slender box light on each side of it.
Okay.
You know, when it comes to commercial stuff, I'm not a Photoshop guy. I don't use it. But when it comes to stuff like this, I'm all for using it. You know, seeing Alex's stuff, seeing Bill Cahill's stuff, I fully understand the power that software can give these images. Especially if Bill's stuff is just sick.
It is awesome.
So, in a situation like this, yeah, maybe a couple of little slots on the side to show the outline of the bottle would be great. But considering what you used to create this, man, that's brilliant. It really is.
Yeah, this was my first try at light painting. I hadn't done it before.
Wow. Well, good for you, man. That. Holy crap.
I will admit this was about shot 25, by the way. So.
Wow, that's great.
So,
that's great.
yeah.
That's great. No, we need to move.
Yeah, that's gone.
Sorry, I'll stop babbling, Alex.
No, that's fine, Dave. You're fine. Come on. Okay, so we got, actually it was our first submission. It was on February 16. I think it was almost like a Saturday or Sunday. Actually, it was Thursday. Whoa.
Yeah, I think it was the next day.
Next day after that hangout. So Anthony M. What's the full name?
Orange yellow.
Oh, Anthony, you're here. Oh, here, yeah. Yeah. So, let me see. It looked interesting, but like they said, the idea what you are trying to say, it's kind of look interesting, but I don't see kind of what, you know, some kind of. Well, okay, they said it. I can say it. Let me talk about technical stuff. Again, same. You know, it's actually almost about every shot. For some reason, when I see, sorry, I think.
You know, what's that background noise coming
background?
Through?
Jerry, I think it's something on your background is running. Jerry. Jerry, you don't hear us? Okay, I'm gonna move. Okay.
Perfect.
So for some reason, when I see the softbox and I see, oh, it's softbox, you know, on the subject, on the product, I kind of all think, oh, you know, photographer should some kind of fix it. We can always see reflection, but it shouldn't be clearly visible that this is softbox sitting there, you know. Like here, I see that reflection on that almost bottleneck on the top of the bottle, very bright one, and I don't like it. That's what I'm gonna fix. Well, we need to talk to Jerry. Jerry, do you hear me? Jerry Nelson. No? I'm sorry. I don't know. He can hear us, but we can hear him. So that's what probably will do. And background, Anthony, was it supposed to be like this, relatively in focus, and was all these wrinkles, or what do you say?
Some of them were taken out.
Oh, so you kind of move it a little bit. I mean, make it less pronounceable. Yes, because what I would do, I would move a background far away from this with the same lighting, but maybe I should make more seamless without without those sprinkles.
Still too much texture on there, huh?
Yeah, probably it's too much, and or if it's texture, it should be maybe more texture if you want to texture, but now it's somewhere in the middle. Not too much to show, you know, some too dark, maybe shadows, but it looks just some, I don't know.
That makes sense.
It's hard. You know, it's hard for me to critique. I just figure out that I never did it. Okay, guys, go ahead. Who's next? I mean, Dave, you want to say?
I actually had the joy of teaching at Brian Peterson's school, online school, for about 3 or 4 years. So critique is not too far out of my realm. The thing I'd like to see in this is maybe the blue in the bottom to be gone. It sort of takes direction away from the image. My eye goes directly to those cubes at the bottom because of the striking blue. I'd also like to see an angle in this. I'm a big guy with angles. I love them. I love something that breaks up the frame. Everything here is really horizontal. So if you took that bottle that was in the glass and tilted it against the rim, it would give a nice diagonal in the frame and help bring the viewer's eye directly to it. Maybe a little bit of smoothing in the background, but the background doesn't bother me that much. I think it's sort of cool. It's a nice texture. It's a great color also. But that's all I have to say about it. Nice image. The label of the bottle is really clear, which I think in these kind of shots is important. And as Alex said, you know, highlights are the death of all glass shots. So if you got rid of those really harsh highlights right in the middle of the bottle, that would help it out a ton also. But a lot of potential here. I really like the dark shading along the sides of the glass. I think that works really good to frame the subject. So, you know, a lot of potential here, a little Photoshop work, and it's a great image. It really is. So, you know, take the blues and go to selective color. Remove the blues a little bit. Don't take them all the way out.
Gel, so.
Yeah, well, you can still go in. Selective color, select your blues. Take about 50% of them out, so they're not the dominant color in this whole frame. And then, you know, you're there. You're there, definitely. Always remember to add angles. Add something that will break up a purely horizontal feel. And I think that helps a shot a lot.
Yeah, that's great. Great advice. Thank you, Dave. About especially the diagonal, you're great. That's exactly what needs to be done here. Yep, I'm agree. Okay, let's go. Next one. To Ron, bottle of wine, blue flame, right?
Yep.
Ron, this is wow, really. First of all, you see, it's on the blue. And the name of the wine is Blue Flame. So everything fits so perfectly in the picture. Colors, even names and composition. You see, like diagonal. We have another one diagonal coming other way. It's just great.
And really important here is the diagonals aren't buried into a corner. It isn't from like left corner to right corner. There's an offset in it. You start burying pictures in corners, and it just loses me in a heartbeat. I really like this image. There isn't much I can say about this one. This is, you know, the time he took to get the wood grain in there is just, the wood grain is brilliant. That's my favorite part of this whole shot. And I know my favorite part should probably be the wine bottle, but I'm a photographer, so I don't see that kind of crap. I really like that wood. The wood is just perfect.
Well, actually, when the shot was first taken, the wood was bright blue because the background.
I imagine, sure.
The background came all over it.
Right.
So then I took a second shot and light painted the wood back, and then just used that shot as an overlay on this. Actually, I showed them in the shots. There they are. It was the main shot, the wood shot, and the label shot.
Right.
And that allowed me to kind of control where I wanted to put any of the highlights. Period.
Is it? Okay, sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry, is it mirrored for you as well? I mean, the text of the image. It looks okay. For me, it's mirrored.
Okay, looks right. Yeah, looks fine for me.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Okay, sorry.
The only thing I might think about with this, thinking from a commercial side of it, I'm sort of uncomfortable reading the label in the aspect that it's in. I think if this was if the bottle went from the bottom of the bottle at the left to the top of the bottle at the right, I'd probably be more comfortable reading that label. I'm always more comfortable, since I'm a U.S. guy, reading from left to right. So that would be the only thing I could say about this thing, is just rotate it 180, shoot it the way it is, but I'd probably be more comfortable reading the bottle that way. But that's such a nitpicky piece of crap thing to say.
No, that's fine.
The background lighting is just incredible. It's just brilliant. It really is.
What I thought I'd do is I'd just show you real quick. This is what I actually use for the background. And it's kind of a strange little thing. I'm going to turn it on. You see it? It's a red LED. Now it's a green LED. Now it's a blue LED. Here's a remote control. And you specify, I want it red. It's now a red LED. And it'll stay red. If you want it green, it's green. Press the remote control. And then if you take one of the
That's awesome.
intermediate colors, which is what I did, I took one of the blue colors somewhere, I don't recall exactly which one, but it mixes then the blue and the green together to give you an intermediate color. So I just used this, an intermediate color, and I actually moved it back and forth as a reflection into the black plastic. So it's all shot on a piece of black plexiglass. These things are $11 on eBay.
Ron, you amaze me every week.
That's cool.
You just amaze
Wow.
me. That is outstanding.
Yeah.
So it's
Hey,
one of my
Ron.
favorite-
Hey, Ron, the plastic that uses it, is it an opaque plastic?
Yeah, it's actually, they kind of in the jewelry trade, they call it black ice. And
Right.
it's a black, solid black piece of black acrylic or plexiglass.
Okay.
But I've done it before. You can do exactly the same thing. Take a piece of glass and use a spray paint on the back side of it and spray it jet black. It'll do exactly the same thing.
Oh, okay.
It's just
Yeah,
that
that's what
with me, the glass is, I tend to break them a lot, so I use the plastic. The plastic, they scratch a lot. So
Yeah, that's true. And it's cheaper to do the glass, too, I think.
Yeah, no. If you keep your eyes for the black plexiglass on eBay, you can buy big sheets of it for $5 or $6.
Wow.
With shipping?
No, this is what I had. This is
Oh,
glass.
here, let me switch to you.
Yeah, this is spray, paint spray. I
Yeah.
know if it's not too small. And
Oh, I
this
see.
is the glass another other side. You see it's
Oh,
poly.
okay.
You spray paint
yeah,
the back.
Yeah, and
Do
actually
you use, and what do you use? Do you use matte or a gloss spray paint?
Doesn't really
it's a
matter.
matte. I
It
use
doesn't
matte.
matter.
I think it does matter, right? That's exactly like.
I guess because of the shine of the glass. It's
Yeah,
Glass is
I
one-
use matte, so it will be not that easy to scratch. I use it
Ah.
camouflage. It's extra matte, and it's very like.
durable.
Yep, exactly.
Cool. Okay, thanks,
Okay.
guys.
Okay, let's move to next one. Okay, Peter Dudek. Well, I better not to say last names, but Peter. he can
Yeah,
join us.
Dudek works, that's right.
Dudek, okay. So here is the image, and it has splash. Wow.
Well, you're gonna
it's
like that one.
great. Yeah, great combination. I love the splash. The only I see Peter did it probably didn't have too much time for post-production, because if you look closer, we see that that splash is coming through the table somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's more like post-production task to make those splashes look more real, not just like overlapping two layers of the image. And Peter, I can tell you that it's easy to bend those splashes. I think I showed in one hangout how to do it in Photoshop. So you can probably bend the stuff which goes on the bottom of the table, but to make it like up or anything. So or wrap it around the bottle. That I would do. The bottle itself looks cool, but again, that reflection on the middle, that black one, I very like the bottom portion of the bottle. This great gradient from like bright areas to darker label is great, but on top it's a little bit kind of, I don't know, I would try to fix it somehow with the lighting. I don't know how, probably, because I know how you did it. You got this soft boxes on both sides, and well, not soft boxes, looks like diffusers, and you have nice gradient on them, but the front of the bottle was not reflecting anything, so that's why it came black. But overall, it's great, really. Maybe a few more hours of post-production, and you'll be really good. This is my take. Dave, next.
Yeah, mine is pretty much a takeoff on yours. When you're talking about product shot, well, the product's got to come first. The label just isn't there in the middle of the bottle, and the people have to see that. That one red strand going across the bottle, sort of in a diagonal, that's got to be removed. When it comes down to it, this has got to be a shot of the wine bottle, not a bunch of splashing stuff around it. Don't get me wrong, I love this picture. I really do. I just think, like you, Alex, a little bit more post-production work and maybe some thought behind it as to what the focus of the image is would help this thing a ton. And the Mulled Wine Factory, or whatever they are, would like this shot a lot. I might also like to see it filling the frame a little bit more. The negative space on the left and the right is probably a little bit of a problem. So You know, depending on how many shots he took for all these splashes, maybe he could fill up the frame a little bit more with them. But those are my thoughts on it. A brilliant image when you really get down to it. You know, the reflections in the glass over the wood, I really like that wood under there, too. I thought that was great. You could see a wood table with a piece of glass on top of it causing the reflections. But if the reflections were a little bit more accurate, it might help it along also.
Yeah, plus maybe color. Color of that splash, it's not a wine for sure. There is no such wine. So, and I think it's supposed to be kind of wine, right? So probably,
yeah, so, something
color
you're
should be
right.
adjusted.
Maybe something that matches the color of the wine.
Yeah,
you know, a deeper red or a deeper burgundy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But still, really cool image.
It's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. The next, Chris bottle, and we got a setup. It's funny, many people use just few lights and all this stuff to get so great results. Well, I like the bottle. It's just pure product shot, pure bottle. If you go to any wine magazine, there are many bottles like this. But what I would fix, again, reflection from the softbox. It's not only visible, well, it's not uniform reflection, right? We lost this little part of it. I know it's not easy to get there, but it's possible. Plus, if you, I see the diffuser. It was not too bright to highlight everything, and I see there's wrinkles on the front diffuser of softbox. The best way, how I would do it differently, how I would avoid it, I will use just plain the cardboard instead of softbox, because it doesn't have any wrinkles, and use softbox to create a gradient on it. So let's say softbox somewhere else, I don't know, maybe from behind. So it will be gradient on that diffuser, and diffuser you'll see diffuser here, without any wrinkles, without anything. So that's probably how I would approach it. The really cool thing is that red rim. First I thought, oh, it's post-production. The guy just created it in Photoshop. But then I look at setup. No, it's red gel in light and softbox, and it acts like two little strip boxes behind the bottle, and created the trim. So this is great.
Yeah, that was the first thing that struck me too, was that thin outline. The only thing I could comment on this, just thinking from a purely production shot for something that's going to be used in their brochures or whatever, that you're not looking for emotional content whatsoever, I would have liked to see that thin frame continued on the bottom. To fill out that whole bottle and give the whole outline. Whether it's post-production or not, I don't care. But I think that would really add to it. Also, what Alex said about the softbox, you can see sort of that cross pattern in it. Just removing that. Like I said, I'm not a Photoshop guy. When it comes to product shots, I don't care what you do to make a bottle look sexy, to make it look right, to make it look what the client wants. I personally don't care. Do what you got to do. But that cross pattern in there sort of has to get out of there. But that thin red line around there is just great. I mean, that just adds so much to this shot. I just like to see it around the bottom of it, that's all.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I completely forgot about the bottom. You're absolutely right. Besides all the stuff, the bottle should be full. I can understand that, yeah.
I was just going to say, it gets a little lost without having that rim at the bottom.
Yes. And I think the bottle won't fit, right? Even with rim, it's not, he just cut the bottom of the bottle. Probably
there would definitely need to be some more room down there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But you could add to the canvas size, and you could even dummy in that rim if you wanted to. But I think it would be important to be there to show the whole outline of it.
Yeah. I think if you look at the lighting setup, that's why we lost outline, because softbox is not coming down too much to get the outline.
That softbox would need to be about a half a foot lower than the actual table to get that to come through. But still, when you look at this lighting setup, who would think that this couple of lights, or maybe, okay, a couple of lights and then a 580 underneath it would create a shot like this? Pretty impressive in my book. Really is.
You see, it's even this. I said it's that bottom light was used as a table only, but now I see it's fired, and actually it created that little gradient on the label, which is cool.
Yeah, which is so needed. If that was just flat white, that would look horrible. But that little bit of detail in it actually makes you still think it's still a bottle and not just something put in afterwards.
Yep.
Right, and you can see the raised like the 3D-ness of the label, that it's
sure.
It's not just flat. You can see like an edge to it.
Yeah, it wasn't like somebody just took a picture of the label and slapped it into this.
Right.
There's actually some depth into it. So
do you guys think that the label is lit? Then it's just the light coming out of that beauty dish underneath.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Because you would think that it would cast a shadow from those little gray blocks he's got.
Well, when you really think of a beauty dish, you've got this thing sitting over the light that throws the light outward into the dish and then back up into the subject.
That's true.
It could happen. I think he just got the height of the bottle correct. If it was too high, you might get that shadow coming up that you're talking about.
Okay.
But he had it low enough that the light was coming off and then into the subject. At least that's the way I see it.
And as a last note, at least from me, just so you guys know, and I've made one too. That's a do-it-yourself beauty dish.
Mm-hmm.
That's an awesome beauty dish.
He made that himself. The beauty dish.
Really?
Yeah, you can see. I can tell because I've made one. So.
You guys are amazing. You really do. I just go to B&H and buy whatever I need. You guys are making this stuff. It just amazes me every week.
Okay, we'll skip mine. I don't want to hear any critics. Let's move. Well, it's Dave, so a few more. Dave, ours will be the last one.
Skip mine. We can talk about ours if we have time.
Okay, Jerry, here you are. You got this nice bottle, which, well, it looks pretty good. As a product shot, probably those lights, those outline lights, a little bit too bright, again, on my taste only, but maybe not, again. It's very interesting when it's completely dark on dark and the bottle is only outlined. Maybe I would remove this little words on the bottom. I think it's some kind of engraving or something. Even if it's there, if it's product shot, usually I remove all stuff which is kind of not belongs to product, but it's just a stupid label from packaging or something. So even if it's bottle is labeled, I would remove it. What else? No, I can tell it. It's great. It's great like it is, and even though I don't see if it's red or not wine, but I like the concept and realization.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Dave can talk more.
I've got this crazy sense of symmetry. What I would have done is, if I'm looking at this, I would have rotated it just a little bit more to the right. Because you see how the softbox is sort of hitting the type at the left of the image, but it's not at the right of the image where the softbox outline is coming in.
Yep.
That throws me off a little bit because I'm crazy when it comes to symmetry. And also on the neck of the bottle, it almost seems like if you would, like the labels weren't working right here. So if you'd rotate it a little bit that way to get the type centered within those two highlights you have going left and right, the top of the bottle probably would have been thrown off even more than it is. So it would probably take a couple shots. But I love the way you captured the label. I think that is brilliant. All the colors are there. It's sharp. It's wonderful. The only other thing I could think of is an outline at the bottom, because there's sort of like no bottom of this bottle. And how you'd get that in there probably would be another shot that you'd have to dub in later.
Yeah.
I'm really blown away by the colors in this thing because it's really this nice, rich black, and then these oranges and the blues and all the tones in there come through. I think you did the bottle real service, and I really, really, really like that. And let me look at your setup for a second here, which was sort of intricate, really, when you get down to it.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to get that. I came out with the idea of wanting to get that outline at the back, you know, the white strips on the bottle, and I started playing around, and then I realised, well, I think I might try and make a box, and that's what I ended up doing. And then, like I say, then it started getting complicated with getting the light on the neck,
right
on that neck where the neck actually meets the bottle. I had a great line coming down, and then a great line on the side of the bottle. But where the neck meets, where the actual curve is, there was nothing there, and that took a lot of time, and that's where I brought that softbox above.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Gotta say, it's a real sexy shot. There's some great curves in there. Gives you a real feeling of, you know, I want this kind of thing. So you did a good job, man. That really is brilliant. I don't know if I could recreate that. I really don't. There's this, you know, that wonderful thick outline. That's just crazy. That really is. It's, you know, I hate to say it, but sex sells, guys. And when I look at this shot, I say sex. I think sex. I really do. So, good shot.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Jerry. It's good. One thing I noticed when Dave was talking, if you look at the right side of the bottle on the neck, you see that label which comes.
Yeah, there's a step off in there.
Yeah, a little bit step.
Yeah.
So it's just a small production task, but if it would be for real client, all this little stuff should be fixed.
Okay.
Because this little thing will make a big difference for client when everything is fixed, you know.
Right.
But yeah, great.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, thank you, Jerry. Is it? What time is it?
I've got now 4:45 in the morning.
Wow,
Whoa.
Jerry.
It's 10:45 your time. You're up at 4:45 in the morning?
Yeah, that's what I do for photography at the moment.
That's great.
Bravo. Yeah, that's
Cheers.
right. Cheers, man. That's
Some
cool.
people might say I was on drugs, but I don't do that.
Okay, yeah, the great shot. Thank you, Jerry.
Thanks.
Okay, next, Greg. We see the shot. Well, I would say nice try, and probably from like light standpoint, the best thing I like is the knife and the fork, how it's lighted. I mean, but well, it needs to work. Light should be fixed, reflection should be fixed, angle I'm not sure, and I don't know about food. Is it exactly what you drink wine with? If it's kind of product shot, right, we need to think about how to prop it out, right? Usually it's stylist does it, not photographer, but it's good to photographer to know. So if you're gonna prop it, think about what fits in wine. Probably piece of cheese, or, well, you guys drink, I don't drink, so you know better what. That's it, Dave.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think Greg tried to do something different here, and that's admirable, absolutely. But I don't really know what the centerpiece of this shot is. You know, is it the food? Is it the glass? Is it the wine? Is it the knife and fork? But he said in his comment, I just did a bottle of white last week before this was started, so I tried something different, and I commend that. I will say that my eye goes right to the bottle of wine, although I think there needs to be some work done to this to maybe smooth up the reflections. I think he just used natural light in this from what it looks like. But my eye goes right to the bottle of wine. Now, I would have liked to have seen the bottle a little bit better, maybe read it a little bit better. But you know, I've seen bottles shot in this sort of circumstance before, with, you know, food on a table to sort of be a focus, a point. You know, like everything else is a player in the whole frame. So where I don't think this succeeds very well, I think it was a great effort. You know, I took a bottle of wine and threw it in a frame and shot it. Yeah, well, I threw some smoke in there also, which almost half killed me. I think this was a good try and something that could be moved upon more to try to maybe refine it a little bit. But, you know, good try, definitely.
Yeah, good try. Maybe more different angles, Greg, maybe, you know, like...
Absolutely, absolutely.
And bottle, I think we need to see the whole bottle. The cup, you cut it.
Peter's Red Splash would have gone well with this, since the name of this is Bull's Blood.
Yeah, yeah. You know, the two of them really need to get together because that would tie in that red color that he used so well. Actually, good call, Ron. Absolutely brilliant.
Okay, let's move. Ken.
More?
How many more we have? Well, it's 1, 2.
Wow, I didn't even
4.
check today.
It's,
Holy cow!
Like I said, I was really amazed and surprised.
Okay, let's power through them.
Yeah, Ken Ho. Well, I'm not talking about last names.
Hoyle.
I can't pronounce them. How is it? Hoyle?
Hoyle.
Hoyle. Okay, thank you. I need to learn how to pronounce those names. Well, I like the idea. Kind of the idea is good, but realization is not probably exactly how I would do it. Reflection in the middle of the bottle, in the middle of the label, it's not readable. The name of the wine, I mean, it's hard to read, right? So it's distraction. I like that spot, red spot on the background, but somehow I have this feeling that spot is moving through the frame because it has some kind of trail, motion trail, which is pinky. I'm not sure if it's exactly how it should be. Maybe it should be just a spot without that kind of motion. And for me, it's a little bit too dark with those glasses, especially right side. So more technical work on shots like this. Just you need more work with light, with shadows, and I don't know.
You've got to keep focus on what the subject is. You know, we're all artists. We want to be artists. We want to do what we think is right. But on these shots, man, you gotta just bring the product out. And here, I think, well, I like the mood of it, feel of it. It's not really showing the product enough, and that's where it's got to go. It's got to be, you know, a couple of bounced lights would have brought out that label a whole bunch more, brought out the rose a bit more, which I think would have helped the picture. I really like that background spot. I think it's cool. I think a little bit of that reflected background back into the image would have helped a ton. I really do. You got to bring out the label in shots like this. You really do.
Maybe just move out, you know, the flower and the glasses so the label will be visible and they'll be around. Something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That pink, though, by the way, I think that's coming from the strobe in front.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Because look at the way the angle of it. It's really pink on the left, and the left's on the right side. It looks like it's angling to the left.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. The label, it's hard to read.
Yeah, and we see the label. It's hard to read because it was no diffuse light. Looks like it was some spot, maybe like just a reflector on the strobe, because we see that little dot on top of the label.
Well, if you look at the setup shot, there's just like a straight flash shooting.
Oh, right. I forgot completely about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was getting that from.
Yeah,
it should be diffused light. It should be diffused light instead of this.
It's just a bare it's bare strobe is all it is.
Yeah. If he would have bounced that off a piece of foam core or something, probably would have helped it a ton.
Sure.
Just to get a more even sort of light across it.
Right. Alrighty, let's move. Mike Broderick, right?
Pretty good.
Okay. it's nice. I see the bottle, nice product, but reflections just they're not good. Good try.
Yeah,
With,
right in the
them.
neck. Gotta remove them.
Yeah,
Just
neck, all
absolutely
around
have to
the
remove them.
Yeah, it should be. You see, if you look at the lighting setup, we see 1, 2, 3, 4 reflectors on the sides. I don't know. Maybe it was. Well, I'm not gonna read it now, and I don't remember. I read it, but I don't. What the intention was, but I don't know why we need to have those 2 reflectors on both sides, little one and big one. It's kind of like a petals of some flower which is there. It's probably we just need 2 big ones to have nice gradient instead of those. You know, we see out several the diffusers on both sides. Plus, I see that light in the middle, which is not nice. I know where it came from. It's not visible here, but it's probably from the light which was used to lit the label. But we need to move it, like, who did it? I forgot who did it. We need to move it down to the bottom, so it won't reflect, it won't get reflection on the bottle. It still can highlight the label, but it won't be that spot. So,
you know, the one thing I think should be said about this shot, though, and the one thing that impresses me the most, this was shot with 1 Canon 430 flash.
Oh, really? One?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd remove those highlights in the center, but I think my guess would be that he used multiple reflectors to add depth to the image. That would be my thought, because I've worked with 1 Canon flash in my life, and you do anything you can to try and get sort of a depth to an image. I mean, with 1 430 flash, I'd be hard-pressed to create anything better than this. I would have gone into Photoshop a little bit and maybe move some stuff around, maybe add a little bit more in the bottom of the bottle to give sort of those the side highlight things going on. But damn, 1 flash and you got this? That's sick.
The one question I got is mainly for you, Dave, because you said you like everything to be aligned, and I'm somewhat similar. What about all the wire? Now I know it's part of the bottle. I think it should be removed myself.
Sort of limited to what the manufacturer creates at this stuff. You can go in there and maybe try to move them around, or you can even try to mirror it if you wanted to. You know, like take a layer and flip it over and try to make it symmetrical. Which might look fake if you're not really good in Photoshop, which I'm not. You know, Zhinya would probably do a much better job. But I think in a shot like this, you know, I love symmetry, but you sort of have to deal with what you're given. And it really doesn't bother me that much in this shot. I would just like to see those highlights, or not highlights, maybe the 3/4 tones or half tones at the top of the bottle, also mirrored in the bottom of the bottle. But man, for 1 flash, good God Almighty.
Yeah, it's impressive. 1 flash.
The gold is really nice.
Yeah, I mean, a 430 isn't really the greatest flash in the world either. So this guy really took what he has and made the most of it. I'm sort of impressed by this one a lot, to be honest with you.
Yeah, agree. You know, one thing I want to add. I think if those diffusers on the sides would be moved closer to the bottle, much closer, especially big ones. Let's say just 10 centimeters on both sides of the bottle, because just not to fit and not to be visible in that frame. We will have that white reflection coming all the way to the neck without that the black piece on that where bottles coming like this. So it's always I remember how much changes and how much easier life can be if I move my soft boxes closer to the subject. And actually, it's one of the reasons why not using big shooting table, Dave, like you had, that big Manfrotto one.
Right.
Sometimes it's hard to get with light modifiers close enough.
Right.
If I need to have like modifier like going down, not only hit the table, I can do it on shooting table. So instead of using these little tables where I can stick my subject and
Right.
surround with big reflectors or softboxes really close, it can create wonders. But one flash, it's hard. I know. Like I said, it's impressive.
It was very hard for me to learn that the light is softer the closer you get it when it's diffused. And it just seems counterintuitive.
Oh, that's an absolutely tough concept to understand. You think the closer you get, the harsher it's going to be, but not really. Light's a finicky beast. I love this stuff, man. It's great to learn. But I'll just go back and say I don't know if I could do this shot that he did with one flash. I really don't.
I probably can say the same. I don't know. I forget when I worked with one flash last time. I mean,
I've tried to forget when I work with one flash.
Yeah.
Well, we should probably move on here.
Yeah. This is next one from Slavo Krolik. Yeah, I'm good. This is named from Slovenia probably, or from... So, this bottle, very interesting concept and probably great realization, but we can talk about just like a product shot here, right? We more can talk about some conceptual, probably Dave can talk about this a bit more, conceptual shot with just some raw, I don't know, it's a bottle, it looks like a bottle of something, right? And which is cool, which is interesting. If it was the idea, of the concept like this, I can add anything. Maybe just a little post-production to make this outline more even. That's it. But if it's a product shot, it's not going to work because we don't see product. That's
I have to agree, of course. Of course I dig the artistic intent behind it, but even with the artistic intent, it needs more. It needs to be, I could even accept one side of a bottle if you're just going for art's sake, from the middle of the cap down to the middle of the base. Because of course it'll give the idea of a female shape, and that might be cool if you light it right and do it right. But this whole assignment was about shooting a red bottle of wine and seeing what you can do with it, and this just doesn't work. But that's okay. Not everybody wants to be a commercial shooter. God knows I never really have. So with a little bit more work into this, you could probably get something that might be artistic. Shoot at landscape, lay the bottle down, try to get that whole curve in the bottle to try to mimic what people might want to see. A beautiful curve in a male or a female form is a beautiful curve. And if you can remind people of what that curve is, you're there, and people will tie into it. So.
Yeah, usually how, I just got this idea, how I would probably incorporate this into product shot. Imagine that we had a bottle of the wine, which is lit from front somehow, so we see a label. But then, on the background, noise coming, we have like a stack of the bottles, but we don't see the bottles, we only see those outlines, like fading in the black. It can be a really nice shot, but we have a product.
Right.
Using this as a frame.
Yeah, like frame.
In the middle, using the shape as a frame. Yeah.
Maybe, you're right. Okay, now it's clear. Okay, let's move to the last one beside our... Well, it's small. Unfortunately, this small one, I don't know if it's really visible or not. But this is cool, Steve.
Yeah, it was bigger on Google+.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Sure. Maybe we can find it. Let me find it.
Well, I'll try and share the screen here.
I think I can do it bigger. Okay, I think I got it here, right?
Yeah. Steve, you kicked ass on this, man. This is really a great shot. It focuses on the label. It has this eruption thing going on in class. I mean, it's a great shot. I don't know what else to say about it. I'm impressed by it for sure.
Yeah, well, it's great. And considering that you use only one light source and it was not flashlight, you kind of did painting with a strobe, which is amazing, really. You did light painting with strobe, like you get those many shots and even what was the liquid?
It was water with food coloring.
Yeah, that's right. Water and food coloring. That's the way to go.
Yeah,
But,
so
I changed the color a bit in Photoshop because it came out too bright. Didn't have the right color, so.
Yeah.
So Steve, was this multiple exposures or just a single exposure?
No, that was about. I had about 15 shots in there.
Ah, okay.
So, because I wanted the light, the right light for each part of the image, and I just combined. I did one part of the bottle, like one side, to get the light on one side, then the other side, and I did the same thing for the base of the glass and all.
That's really cool.
It was really a difficult shoot.
It's
But you
difficult.
see, that's what it's all about, though. When it comes to commercial work, you know, I don't care how many shots you use, how much Photoshop you use, as long as you get me feeling something. That's cool. I might think differently when it comes to, you know, the art world. But when it comes to trying to portray something for people to look at and say, wow, I really want to buy that. This is a great shot, man. You should be proud. I smiled when I saw this earlier.
I like the shot. There's some things I would change because I didn't have enough time, but I'm pretty happy with the shot.
Yeah, you did a good job, man. Cheers.
Yeah, great. It's hard to add anything. Maybe just splash inside that glass. But again, it's all about time and well, it's all about how much post-production, how much you can put to modifying the splash.
Right.
But with one strobe, this is great. That's what I love when people, you know, use what you have to get what you have in mind. It's something that's really hard because usually you can imagine much bigger thing, which then you have sources to do. But when you kind of nail it, it's great. Steve,
And
amazing shot.
what I used my famous Pringles can to.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
Okay, so I guess Dave, it will be yours now if you're going down. Where's that?
Yeah,
Dave?
where is mine?
Okay, here we are.
Yeah, you know, this was, I came home for lunch a few days ago because I'm working like insane amounts of hours. I'd actually bought this wine holder weeks ago with the intention of a shot like this. And it's just welded links of chain together. It's meant to be a wine holder. It's meant to be at a different angle. The wine should be actually, the cork should be lower than the bottle, which would just take some bending, but I didn't bother. Set it up, 5 lights, couple strip boxes, incense stick actually taped behind the bottle, and I've learned to use this weird hand waving motion to get the smoke to go the direction I want it to go. And I shot this in 45 minutes, a little bit more post-production than I normally do. I brought out the reds. I didn't like the way this was much more cramped, so I just scaled it outward. As you can probably tell by the smoke, it looks stretched. If I had more time, I would have tried to get the smoke the way I want it. But for the most part, you're seeing pretty much what I shot. Just a little bit lengthened. The smoke was a little blue, so I took the blue out of it. And that's about it, really. And cloned a whole bunch of shit out in the foreground in that black. A whole bunch of spots because my plexi is a mess. But that was about it. The idea was to just let the red show through. This shot really shines at full resolution. I've actually got this shot on my computer as the wallpaper.
That's
because
cool.
the red pops so incredibly in this when you see it at the correct size. The chain was chrome, which added its own fun. The reflector I used in front, as you can see by the setup shots, I've just got this strip box in the front of it, below it, pointing up at it, horizontal. I haven't seen many strip boxes used horizontal like that before, so it was sort of new to me. The second setup shot, if you're on Alex's page, where it shows the one with a grid and the other one without, there was actually a 40-degree grid in there also. I just had it out for some reason when I took this picture. And you see my studio is nothing more than a room in my basement. That's all it is. You know, honestly, I'm sort of happy with this shot, considering I did it in 45 minutes.
Yeah, great work, Dave. It's first, man, you getting such props. When I first look at, I said, how you did it, how you hang it with this chain. But then if you didn't submit the setup, I would never thought that it's like this. I mean,
I look all the time for this crap, man.
Great.
I search for the most crazy things on eBay you can ever imagine.
Actually,
I just happened to came up with this one, and you know, I saw yours earlier in the week, Ron, and I'm like, damn. You know,
actually, I saw this one earlier in the week on Amazon.com. I was looking for one that was different. I had a straight one. I didn't like it.
Right.
The other one they had that was similar to this, I came close to getting, was done with a piece of nylon rope. It's almost the identical shape, but they put a wire inside the rope.
Wow.
So you only see the rope hanging up there. It looks like it's hanging on the rope.
Yeah, I actually, this was delivered to me about 2 weeks ago. And I had all these thoughts. Now, what I really want to do with this, if you were to take my image and rotate it 90 degrees clockwise, and then remove the reflection of the chain, it would look like it's hanging on a wall with the smoke going down, which is, you know, of course, against every law of physics there is. And I think I'm actually going to do that because I think it would impact the shot more. It would be like this bottle sort of being held by a chain, but it shouldn't be. It should be falling down, and the smoke is going down instead of up. So I think I'm going to, and no, I see you tilting.
Yeah.
But,
I'm like, trying to visualize, you know?
Yeah, it will look like it's hanging on a wall, and it shouldn't be. So I'm going to play with that next week.
Yeah, it's interesting. The only thing I would kind of, it's not even suggestions, it's just how I would do it differently. Not differently, what I would add. The reflection. You remember?
Yeah.
If you get closer, those soft boxes, those 3 boxes closer to this, maybe you could get reflection all through the bottle till the neck, right?
Yeah, you know, I was
I
thinking of that also. With those lights I had to the left, on the neck, I had to remove some reflections that were coming from those lights to the left. There were some harsh freaking highlights in there. What I would really like, and I couldn't figure out how to do, is instead of that soft box right in the middle, I would have liked it to be sort of lower. So get the outline top and the outline bottom. So what I did to compensate for that is I made sure the 181 was sort of right in the middle of those 2 reflections. So you can sort of still see the bottle outline, but you don't need the reflection in the bottom to sort of mimic the top one. If I had more time, I would have played with this a lot more. I'm happy with the shot, but there are still some things that I know 5 months from now I'll look at and go, oh God, why did I shoot that? But there's a lot of room for development in here. The bottle is beautiful. It's this wonderful dark bottle with this wonderful red type. One thing that really pisses me off, in the neck, right by that chain link, you can see the 1 coming through. There's actually, it's 181.
Right.
I wish the label was set up correctly so that I could have shown it in an open link. So you would have had the 181 at the top and then the 181 at the bottom. But it's just not the way the bottle was. So There's a lot of things I'd like to change in this, but the smoke rocked, so I couldn't argue too much over it.
Great stuff. Thank you, Dave. It's as usual, you know.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, now my stuff. I have setup is gone. I can show you the setup, but instead I recorded a movie with, not movie, like little video clip where I was explaining. We got a shot in 1 hour with Zhenya, and I used that crazy camera which I have here. So I'm going to, if I gonna unshare this, and then I'm gonna show you that movie. Do you see it? I'm gonna,
Yep.
a little bit, okay, so. Sound is there, right? Sorry.
Nope.
No,
No, no,
No,
no.
we don't
You
hear anything.
sound?
no sound.
Oh, man. Okay. We'll do it different way. I'm gonna show it anyway to you. It should be fast. I will share screen with and it should work. Just a moment. Oh man, you never know.
I believe they call it technology.
Yeah, because I hear sound. I checked it. I hear sound. Oh, it's everything's fine. But so I'm going to move this, and I'm gonna screen share right from here. And okay. Do we hear something now?
No.
No sound?
Yeah, usually you have that drop, right?
Yeah, it dropped. It should be sound there. No.
Nope.
Nope.
You're gonna have to
Okay,
narrate.
I will be talking to you, but at least you see it, right?
Yes.
Right.
So I can talk now. I will try. No sound, right?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Okay.
Let me turn it off. No, something's coming. You need to mute. So I use that camera, technical camera. It's Camera Ultima with those tilt shift stuff. You see, I'm showing that front element was it wasn't tilted. Swing, right? Swing on 15 degree. And the rear standard was swing same direction, like in parallel, but 10 degree. I know it worked the best. I would try. I tried different ways, but it worked the best. What I wanted to accomplish, I want to have focus to be not usual. If you look at the picture closer, the focus is not right because a bottle in the focus. And that cap, which is behind the grape, is in the focus too. But everything between the grape and between the cup, right, that on the bottom, and the bottle, everything is a little bit out of focus. It's not really visible here, but if you print it, it will be even more in the focus. I shoot it f5.6. It's almost wide open. But the focus plane was shifted, right? It was not parallel with sensor because of those movements. So, lighting setup, you see 2 strip boxes for the rim light, for the outline, right? 2 strip boxes on the background. One, let me see it here. Okay. One light, spotlight. It was only for to kind of shine through the props, meaning the grape and other stuff. Plus, well, I'm gonna make it a little bit faster because I'm talking here. And this is light for the label. You see where I put it? Because it was. If I put it a little bit higher, I would get the reflection on the bottle. It would be like a bright spot on it. But because I move it lower, we don't have any reflection. And when this spotlight hits label, it just gets diffused. Label is glowing. I mean, we see the label, but we don't see anything on the bottle surface. So that's screens I used to hide it from reflection from around the studio, because bottle was almost like a black, and it was a little bit visible stuff, which especially from that side, from the left side, because I have like white walls there, so I use the screens to hide it.
All right.
Well, this is basically it. Oh, the last one, instead of putting light, I use just mirror, and it was reflecting light to the cap and the fake grape. So one light was coming from that spotlight on behind that I'm talking, and another one was reflection from the mirror. So basically, this is it.
You know, that's what I really love about your pictures. You understand how to bounce light so well, and what to use to bounce light. I'm not good at that. I'll be the first one to admit it. My light sources are usually direct on, however they work. Maybe I'll bounce a little bit, but I would never think to use a mirror or whatever to get a light source that you want. I'm learning a lot from you. I've ordered a lot of crap since I've met you, so I can start like learning how to do this stuff, because it's always been a battle for me. You know, how do I get a subtle light in some place that just isn't a flash or something pointing directly at it, as opposed to a bounced light or a mirrored light or something like that. It's really important stuff, and you understand it so well. So it's really cool, man. Really cool. This is a great shot.
Thank you. Yeah, it was cool actually. I didn't think about having that highlights on the background from that spot, but when I accidentally got it, yeah, I got it accidentally and said, "Wow, it looks cool," you know. So I left it there. And
so where did that highlight? Where did that highlight come from again, then, Alex? On the top
it
left.
Was a spot. You see that highlight on the left? It was a spotlight, and it was used to highlight leaves and the grapes. You see how bright they are? It's
right.
Because it was actually maximum power of Einstein, all 640 watt seconds. And I just moved it a little bit lower, and boom, I got it highlighted.
I see.
Yeah, so it kind
so you had the two. So you had the two strip axes behind, and then you had this strobe as well. Okay.
Yeah.
I looked away at that time.
To highlight this little stuff and create that blink, but
cool.
3 boxes only for outline.
Right.
Okay.
Alex.
Yes.
Can I, one quick question I have for you.
Sure.
On your lights, why don't you use continuous lights?
Why don't you use continuous lights? Good question. I use continuous lights, but because I use a lot of motion, you know, that liquid stuff.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's why I kind of not really. Now, actually, I started from a strobe long time ago. Where's my cam? Is it coming?
Alex, where'd you go?
It's coming, I guess.
Turn some of those lights back on, the continuous lights.
Okay, let me...
Well, you know, I'm sort of in the same boat as Alex. I've always used flashes. I don't know how to do anything different. I've got a friend of mine who shoots with continuous light all the time. He's brilliant. But I can't do it. I just don't know how it works. It's not where I'm comfortable. So... I think it all depends on what you're comfortable with.
Yeah. And if you can do, because like I said, with splashes I can do it.
Yeah,
even if I want.
Of course not. Yeah.
But like here I have, I don't know if you see it or not. This is my first. It's far from professional. I don't need professional because I cannot do a tutorial for specific this. This is LED lights, where is the same as Ron showed us, right?
Right.
I love them. They work pretty good, actually even better than strobe, because I can modify the light much better. And I use it for jewelry, for an expensive those jewelry tutorial which are working. It will be cool stuff where you can do almost anything in like $150 with all the setup, with lights, with everything. So continuous is good if you can do it. Go ahead.
Well, I think one of the advantages to strobe, which I don't happen to use either because I don't have the cash invested in it, but you can control the light without having to move the distance. And so if you have a limited setup distance, you can get half the light by cutting the power down to half on the strobe. Whereas if I want half the light, I have to find a way of blocking it, or I have to move it twice as far away, or 4 times as far away, and I can't do that. I'm too small of an area. But even so, I use continuous because I just not used to the strobe. I like to see the modeling while it happens.
Yeah,
it really is a visualization thing. My friend Mike, I mean, this guy, he takes a couple of quartz lights and could do stuff I never can. So it's what you learn. It really is.
No, because the other reason I asked you, actually, Alex, is because you do a lot of video. So obviously for that you do need continuous light of some sort.
Well, it's just light around studio. Have big fluorescent lighting. Yeah, so it has nothing to do. I mean, it's usually on when I shoot with strobes because it's not affecting images. But when I use LEDs, studio is dark.
Fair enough. Right.
And,
cheers.
Yeah. And actually, with LEDs, with continuous light, really, it's easier to see what you're getting because, yeah, we have modern light on a strobe, but we need to turn lights. All studio should be no lights, right? So we can see modern light. And usually, modern light is not bright enough. So it's hard to really see and hard to get focus sometimes. With real continuous lights, usually it's much brighter than modern light of the strobe. And yeah, you can see the stuff. And sometimes it's much faster to get a desired result because you don't need to shoot and look, and change something. You just move lights, you see, and you got, and then you shoot it, and you have a shot.
Yeah.
Right? Well, great. It was even more, but it was really fun. Dave, we need to think about next assignment for next week.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I thought we'd take sort of your concept and move it more into my world. So let's take a bottle of any type, wine, alcohol, beer, whatever, but let's try to show some emotion in it. Why don't we try to show, I don't know, maybe sex when it comes to a bottle. Anything emotional that will drive a feeling behind it. So take your favorite bottle of whatever and make me feel something for next week. Not a product shot. You know, I'll take a silhouette. I don't care. Take a bottle and have a model behind it, mimicking the curve of a body part. Do whatever you have to have. Okay, let's just put it on the table. Do whatever you have to do to turn me on, as a guy or as a girl or whatever. Just make it. You know, think of the absolute shots. A lot of them are sexy. So just do what you got to do to make that happen.
Okay, thank you, Dave. It's interesting, very interesting. So we kind of move into creativity area now from a product one. And,
well, you know, I sort of look at it as commercial shots have to be emotional also. Right. It's not just a pretty picture of a bottle. It's something that will grab somebody's attention, that will immediately make them think of something. You know, you're in my world, Alex. We're not too far apart. We just infuse emotion into our pictures. So when you look at Bill Cahill's shots. His shots are emotional. He might not mean them to be, even though I'm sure he does. But when I look at his stuff, there's these wonderful arcs in them. There's these beautiful curves in them, all of them. So try to just put emotion into a bottle.
Excellent, excellent. Actually, you completely, I agree with you 100%. Great product shot, great edge shot. It's emotion.
Yeah.
If we talk about catalog, which is boring to shoot catalogs, I tell you, you better don't start doing this. It's just plain stuff, but let's do real edge shot. A lot of emotions, like Dave said.
So get in touch with Bill and have him shoot for this.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe we can invite Bill to at least to join us next time.
I'll send him a note tomorrow saying, you know, this is the assignment. Let's see what you come up with. So that'll be, if he shoots for it, I'd be amazed. But I'd also be embarrassed to put anything up for it when he's shooting. But it would be great to have him on here. He could teach us a lot, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Excellent. So, looks like we cover everything. No questions, guys? Are we good?
I think we're pretty good. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yep.
I'll do a blog post where I post as usual video, my video, all this stuff, and all your pictures. I'll move from comments area just to the post, so it will be more like finished look for our hangout. So, thank you everybody. It was great.
Cheers.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it.
You got
Yeah,
it.
thanks a lot.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Good night,
Thanks,
John.
guys.
All right.
Night.
Cheers.
Good morning,
Yeah.
then.
Good morning.
Good morning. Right.
I'm going to bed.